This is Megan Sapp, and I'm here today to present to you on Theorist Imogene King and her goal attainment model. At the end of today's presentation, I hope that you will have a good understanding of who Imogene King was, her contributions to healthcare, why I chose her as a theorist, where her theory developed from, an overview of her theory, critique of her theory, as well as how the nursing process relates to her theory and the link between theory and practice. Imogene Martina King was born on January 30th, 1923 and passed December 24th, 2007. She was one of the pioneers and most sought nursing theorists for her theory of goal attainment, which was developed in the early 1960s. Her work is being taught to thousands of nursing students from all over the world and is implemented in a variety of service settings as well. She's been recognized as a global leader. King truly made a positive difference for the nursing profession with her significant impact on nursing scientific base. She made an enduring impact on nursing education, practice, and research while serving as a consummate active leader in professional nursing. She was born in West Point, Iowa, and during her early high school years, she decided to pursue a career in teaching. However, her uncle, the town surgeon, offered to pay her tuition to nursing school. She eventually accepted the offer, seeing nursing school as a way to escape life in a small town, and thus she began her remarkable career in nursing. King excelled in her nursing studies despite the fact that it was not her first choice to consider. In 1945, she received a diploma in nursing from St. John's Hospital School of Nursing in St. Louis, Missouri. While working a variety of staff nurse roles, she also started coursework toward a Bachelor of Science in Nursing Education, which she received from St. Louis University in 1948. In 1957, she went on to receive her Master's of Science in Nursing from St. Louis University. Then she went on to study with Mildred Montage at her dissertation chair at Teachers College, Columbia University, New York, and received her educational doctorate in 1961. As Levine and Colleen in 2008 pointed out, Dr. Imogene King lived a practice-driven and patient-centered life. She was a continual learner, earning 2 honorary doctorates in addition to her RN BSN, and her doctorate in education. She continued to contribute to nursing practice, education, and research, leading to her induction into the American Nurses Association Hall of Fame. She had 40 years of contribution to the NANDA International. She embraced technology in nursing, informatics, and evidence-based practice, and she loved reading, painting, and golf. King's contributions to nursing and healthcare are too numerous to count. She provided innovation, increase in nursing science, education of nursing students, advancement of nursing practice. She helped define the nursing goal of health. A documentation system was developed based on her theory, providing quantitative and qualitative data that can be used to measure quality of nursing care and outcomes. Over the years, she received many awards and honors. In 1973, her book, Toward a Theory of Nursing, General Concepts of Human Behavior, received the American Journal of Nursing Book of the Year Award. In 1980, she was awarded an honorary PhD from Southern Illinois University. King was one of the original Sigma Theta Tau International STTI Virginia Henderson Fellows, and she received the STTI Elizabeth Russell Belford Founders Award for Excellence in Education in 1989. In 1994, King was inducted into the American Academy of Nursing and served on the AAN Theory Expert Panel. She received the Jesse M. Scott Award in 1996. King was also in the ANA House of Delegates to hear President Clinton's congratulations on the ANA's 100th anniversary. In 1997, King received a gold medallion from the Governor Childs for advancing the nursing profession in the state of Florida. In May 1998, she received an honorary doctorate from Loyola University, with her nursing collection is housed. In 1999, King was inducted into the Teachers College, Columbia University Hall of Fame. In 2004, she was inducted into the FNA Hall of Fame and the ANA Hall of Fame. She was inducted as a living legend in 2005. Despite King's many awards and honors, she considers teaching students to be her most important accomplishment. Over the years, she enjoyed watching her nursing students become expert practitioners, teachers, and researchers. I chose Imogene King as my theorist, as I feel that her theory provides us a way to improve patient outcomes. The changing environment in healthcare is causing organizations to develop innovative solutions to aid in the care of patients. The focus on outcomes is greater than that of cost, and it's revolutionizing the care patients receive. Due to these changes, healthcare providers and institutions are forced to look at the results of their care. My current role as a nurse is to improve outcomes and reduce readmissions for patients post-cardiac event. I chose Imogene King's theory of goal attainment because it is useful in improving patient outcomes. I also appreciate points she included in the development of her theory, such as focus on evidence-based practice, be a lifelong learner, nursing ethics are important, and respect for individuality. Her belief in collaborative nursing practice is also something I subscribe to and draws me to her theory. Imogene King's theory of goal attainment evolved from the general systems theory of von Bertalanffy. According to King, her development of the goal attainment theory came out of a search for literature in nursing and other behavioral science fields, discussion with colleagues, attendance at numerous conferences, inductive and deductive reasoning, and some critical thinking about the info gathered, which led her to formulate her own theoretical framework. Her theory evolved in the mid-1960s out of the question, how do nurses make decisions in the daily practice, and how to define the Nursing Act? She developed the Human Act, which progressed from a framework to theory. Her theory is, nursing is a process that is interactional in nature between two human beings engaged in a human act. Early 1990s, she titled her work General System Framework, and it became the theory of goal attainment. The theory of goal attainment can be summarized as nurse-patient transactions or interactions and the context within which they occur are essential to the attainment of a patient's health goals. A patient and a nurse form a team and agree on goals and then work out a mutually agreed upon contract on how to achieve the goals. King defined health as the dynamic life experience of a human being, and not simply in the context of bodily process. She recognizes the ability of a person to continually adjust to internal and external stressors by maximizing available resources to achieve maximum potential for daily living. She also explained health as involving life experiences of the patient, which includes adjusting to stressors in the internal and external environment by using resources available. The environment defined as the background for human interaction. It involves the internal environment, which transforms energy to enable people to adjust to external environmental changes, and it involves the external environment, which is formal and informal organizations. A nurse is considered part of the patient's environment. There are three interacting systems in the theory of goal attainment according to King. There are personal system, the interpersonal system, and the social system. The system is given different concepts. The concepts for the personal system are perception, self-growth and development, body image, space, and time. The concepts for the interpersonal system are interaction, communication, transaction, role, and stress. The concepts for the social system are organization, authority, power, status, and decision-making. Let's take a look at some of the elements of King's goal attainment theory in our interacting systems framework. The focus of the nurse is the care of human beings. The goal is the health care of individual and groups. She identifies human beings as open systems interacting constantly with their environment. The basic assumption of goal attainment, much like that of the nursing process, is that nurse and client communicate information, set mutual goals, and then act together to attain those goals. Each human being perceives the world as a total person in making transactions with individuals and things in the environment. Transactions represent a life situation in which perceiver and thing perceived are encountered, and in which the person enters the situation as an active participant, and each is changed in the process of these experiences. From King's perspective, the nurse and the patient bring valuable knowledge to the partnership of achieving goals. Let's look at the outcomes of interaction and transaction. If perceptual interaction accuracy is presented in nurse-client interactions, transaction will occur. If nurse and client make transaction, goals will be attained. If goals are attained, satisfaction will occur. If transactions are made in nurse-client interactions, growth and development will be enhanced. If role expectations and role performance as perceived by nurse and client are congruent, transaction will occur. If role conflict is experienced by nurse or client or both, stress in the nurse-client interaction will occur. If nurse with special knowledge skill communicate appropriate information to the client, mutual goal setting and goal attainment will occur. The nurse-client relationship is crucial in achieving the goal of Imogene King's theory to maintain and promote health, which influences quality of life. Critics have identified limitations of the goal attainment theory. A few of the suggested limitations are cultural constraints, patient competency, and lack of specific guidelines and structure. Critics question the usefulness of the theory among societies with different views or values than those of the Western cultures. The effectiveness among the elderly and Middle Eastern culture is also in doubt, as they prefer to give up control when it comes to healthcare decisions. Many cultures prefer having the healthcare provider determine goals and then follow what they are told. King defends her theory and suggests when caring for patients with different values, the nurse needs to evaluate their values, aligning with the patient to provide holistic care. To successfully use the goal attainment model with those of different values, a trusting relationship needs to develop where the patient feels their perspective is valued and a plan develops with the patient. I agree with King and the belief as healthcare providers, we need to understand where our patient is coming from to be effective. Developing a partnership is the key to continued success. As goals are set and achieved, the patient will be more likely to become more involved. Many studies and other theories have demonstrated that success in improving outcomes is related to the involvement of the patient. While the process of setting goals and having the patient engaged may take additional time, it is not impossible, and I do not find this critique to be relative. From my perspective, the greater obstacle when working with patients from different cultures or values is the ability of the provider to step outside of their perspective and see things differently. There have been little studies to evaluate the effectiveness of the theory outside the Western culture, and continued research should be performed. Another critique of King's theory is patient competency. The critics question the ability to set and reach goals in comatose, neurologically compromised, or patients in a vegetative state. However, they do not give much explanation to their belief. It is assumed that because they have limited ability to interact, that they are unable to participate in goal attainment. As King defends her theory, she reminds the critics that the patient is not only themselves but also the interpersonal and their environment. Therefore, in the situation where the patient is not competent to interact, the nurse would provide holistic care by interacting with the family. I can see where critics would question the usefulness of the theory with these patients, but also recognize King's perspective. I do not think all theories work for all patients in all situations. To provide patient-centered care, the provider needs to be familiar with many methods and choose the one most appropriate. I can see how goal attainment would be appropriate to use in caring for the patient's family and caregivers. Other critics claim the theory does not allow direct application to the care of patients. Melise, 1991, suggests the theory does not guide the assessment, diagnosis, or intervention. King acknowledges the theory is not for direct application, but the knowledge gained through concepts and research are directly applicable. In my opinion, when King demonstrates how goal attainment works with the nursing process, it shows the ability to apply the theory to the care of patients. I find the goal attainment approach useful when used in conjunction with the nursing process, and I believe the continual evaluation suggested by King is what results in improving outcomes. We will take a look at the nursing process as we evaluate King's theory. In my use of Barnum's criteria to evaluate King's theory, I find it stands the test of time as it is continually utilized. It meets the 5 criteria outlined, and it has been proven through research to advance the science of nursing. Clarity is defined by Chin and Kramer as how well the theory can be understood and how consistently the ideas are conceptualized. When looking at assumptions, concepts, and propositions of King's model of goal attainment, I find them to be precise and reliable. Within the theory, links can be drawn between the propositions and the concepts. When evaluating the consistency of the model, the pieces fit together and provide congruency. Simplicity is found in the theory as it focuses on few concepts and mainly the nurse-patient relationship. While the theory is simplistic, it allows the application to be adequate in many different applications in nursing. The process that makes up the theory is logical as it moves patients from their current health state to an improved health state as seen in her use of the nursing process. The theory is also well developed as it has been researched and applied in a variety of scenarios. Many hospitals have developed their patient care after the model and also use a charting system to evaluate goal attainment. When comparing the nursing process to goal attainment, we can see that the theory fits in line with the assessment process, where we're observing the patient verbal and nonverbal cues. We're creating nursing diagnosis based on the information obtained through the assessment. The nurse develops nursing diagnosis and then confirms if the patient agrees. Planning, or goal setting, evolves out of the agreed upon diagnosis. The diagnoses are prioritized in order of importance. Resources are then identified to help the patient achieve successful management, such as in their diabetes. Implementation is putting the determined resources to use. Patients must be involved in the implementation for the goals to be met. Evaluation. The nurse and patient check in to measure if the objective was achieved. If the goal is not achieved, the process begins again. The use of the goal attainment model in my role of nursing is appropriate. However, I recognize the theory needs evaluation in context of what is trying to be achieved. Not all theories are suitable for all scenarios, making the analysis and evaluation of the theory critical to the success of its application. I find one of the most significant pieces of this theory is the continual evaluation of how we practice and the outcomes we achieve. It's important to incorporate the knowledge gained in others' practices, to have a patient-centered and evidence-based practice, and to collaborate in a mutually identified goal with the patient, caregiver, nurse, and other healthcare providers in order to achieve the goal of improved outcomes.